going live with a couple hungry dogs. This guy, he's my rescue. He doesn't really chew a bone, but this guy does. I'm sorry. I uh, I gotta say again, hello. This is Uncle Martin live on what is it today? Saturday. I'm starting early. This is the first. I'm starting about 4:30. For all you people out there that I don't know, you're kind of like India and all you other guys are like up at 4 in the morning, 10 hours difference. Figure maybe I'll start a little earlier for you. Okay, I've got a topic that I think everyone might be interested in. I've done it. I did this like 2 years ago. 2 years ago. It was on a serial killer that killed people. Um, and I had just started driving. I didn't know what I was doing yet, but I had a good. I've always had a good rapport with energy, and I should have listened to my heart. My heart said, "Do not pick up this person." My heart said, "Do not let this person in your car." My heart said, "Drive away, leave him there." That's what my heart said. But my mind said, "Hey, well, maybe I could make some money." And that's what happens when you listen to your mind, your mind, which is very loud, and the small little voice that's screaming at you, "No, don't do it, don't do it." I didn't listen, so I got to experience a serial killer in the back of my car, um, and that's the story that I have. I did this 2 years ago on episode 80. 80, if you want to go back. But I got more stuff. I got more stuff for you. Hey, what do we got here? Somebody saying hello? Let me put my glasses on. This is about a serial killer that I had in the back of my car as a cab driver. Hey, Minnie, Drake. Hey, how you doing? SS. Hello. Hey, Rob Desmore. Hey, the thumbnail is going to be. We'll decide on that in a moment. I'm just talking about me as a cab driver. I was new. I didn't know what I was doing, other than collecting fares for money. And what happens is when you're a cab driver, you have to be you have to have discernment. All right. If you don't have discernment, you should not be a cab driver. Actually, my cousin Jim said, "Hey, Pablo, Sasso, hey, man." Hey. My cousin Jim, very wise man, said, "I never saw a rich cab driver." That is so true. But I wasn't in for money. I was in for it helping people because that's what I do. I can't help myself. If somebody has an ailment or a problem, I got to try to help them. I don't know what it. I know what it is because past lives I was a doctor, and not this lifetime. I'm not a doctor, but there's remedies that we either know or don't know, and that's where I come in, I guess. What city did you drive in a cab? Hey, Rob. It was in Phoenix. Okay, Phoenix during the time of the serial killer. His name was Dale Housner. You can look up Dale Housner. He has like a crew cut. He's in orange. When you look up Dale Housner, he was a he was he was a serial killer that I had in my back seat. And that's the story. That's the story I'm going to give you guys. A true story. All my stories are true, but how I got through this, I believe through the angels. The angels were involved. They were. This guy thinks he's an angel. He is. One more. That's it. That's it. That's all you get. One more. Take it. Chew it or bury it. I don't care. So I had, hey, gaming official from Canada. Hey, nice to see you show up. This thumbnail is going to be on serial killer. A serial killer gave a ride as a cab driver. Anybody coming in late? So yes, I was a cab driver in Phoenix, and I drove all over. I pretty much after that experience, I kind of I was more in Scottsdale than Phoenix. That'll be another story. Scottsdale's a little higher up end. Phoenix, I'm not putting down Phoenix, but there's a lot of stuff going on in Phoenix. Yo, Wang Man, Matthew, how you doing? Anybody coming on right now? I want a thumbs up or down. I want to know where you're from, and I also want to say if you join my club, I'll join yours. I'll join, even if you don't have a club yet. Maybe you want to get one. You know, like start a. I don't know. Get online, I guess, because a lot of people have been joining me, and I want to join them, but they're like. They haven't subscribed to the. There's a process to get on the platform. It took me a while to figure that out, but Matthew, good. How about you, Matthew? I'm very well, thank you, by God's grace. This is about. I'm figuring out what the thumbnail is. I had a serial killer. He killed. Well, they got him for six killings, but there was 8 that we know didn't make. They couldn't convict him on the other 2, but they got him on 6 of them, and that's the story I got for you. As I said before, 2 years ago I did this, but I got more stuff. I got more stuff for you, and I always said if I got more stuff for you, I'm going to go forward with it to where you have more information. That's all. Because that was going. No, what a ride! What a ride! Episode 80. All right, it'll be different than this one. You'll get different information, but you'll get more. You'll get even more information with this one. All right, because I'm sure that no, you get nothing. See that guy? See that face? See that guy? He's a barrier. He buries things. He doesn't chew them up. All right, one more. That's it. All you get. You can't chew up these rawhides that fast. Dogs are not known to do that. I know he's buried them. One of these days we're going to follow him, okay? Okay, Matthew, good. How about you? I'm very well by God's grace. And, hey, Beetle, what are you doing today, Uncle Martin? Well, that's a very good question, Beetle. I am doing a thumbnail on a serial killer, Dale Housner. Just look up Dale Housner. You'll have a lot of information, but I'm going to give you more on how the ride went with me, okay? Is he famous? Beetle? He is more than famous. He was a serial killer for Phoenix. He did many killings. First he started off with animals, then he went to people. And then I'm going to get to the story. I promise you I will. Is he famous? Yeah, he's famous and infamous. He's a serial killer, for crying out loud. Dale Housner. I shook hands with the guy. I didn't know who he was. I just started driving a cab. What did I know? I just had to make money. And okay, so let's start with at least what we got here. I got new stuff, so I got to use my glasses, my 100 proof glasses, to show you what's going on here. Okay, so he was a serial shooter. Dale Housner. Just look up Dale's D-A-L-E, Housner H-A-U-S-N-E-R. All right, and this guy, I just gave you a little. Somebody's giving me a heads up on that. They agree. So we got February 4th. Dale was born. February 4th, 1973. And June 19th, 2013, they say he committed suicide. But I gotta wonder, when you're in jail, did you really commit suicide when they find out what you've been doing? I guess that's a big question, isn't it? I mean, from all different sides, when you look at people that they're all committing suicide, and it seems to be the thing on the platform when these notorious people get caught and put in jail, they commit suicide. Well, you got to wonder, is that really true or not? I'll leave it up to you. So he had an accomplice. As you look this up, you'll see Samuel Dieteman, Dieteman. He was an accomplice. Now, I was working 24/7 as a cab driver just to make my mortgage and my lease, which was very difficult at the time because there was very corrupt people as, let's say, in the organization I was working for. But that would be another story. No. Can you see this? No. It is absolutely no. I told him he's not going to get anywhere. Actually, I got one more, but that'll be for later. We're going to hold off a little bit. He's burying them too quickly. We just had a torrential rain. That's why I'm starting early at 4:30 because we're going to be hit with another monsoon in September, which is very rare. Somebody called them haboobs. I think the guy was named Haboob because we have not had any rain here in Arizona for a very long time. Yesterday, I showed you the last clip I had of my front yard filled with water. And it's about ready to happen again. That's why I'm starting early. I'm trying to get through this before the big lightning storm comes in. So we got, yeah, he did random drive-by shootings, and he did a lot of arsons, all right? Hey, Fawn. Patootie. Hey, how you doing? Hey. We're talking about a serial killer I gave for a ride. Yeah. It was a 19. See, my dyslexia keeps kicking in. I'm sorry. 2006. I wish these glasses would stay a little tighter, but they're not staying tighter because my dog is waiting for another bone. He buried my glasses. I just found them the other day. Beetle, have a good one. Hey, Beetle, join the club, will you? And I'll join yours. Okay, so this guy did a lot of random shootings. It was in Phoenix, 2005 to 2006. It was approximately about 14 months worth. 14 months of killing and shooting animals and people. I'm just trying to give you a heads up before what I tell you about when he got in my car. Okay, so he was arrested in August 3rd, 2006. Now, I was hired on I was going to say railroad. Yeah, I was. That was in 73. We're talking about 2006. I was hired by AAA Yellow Cab. AAA Yellow Cab. Now, they hired me on April 18th. You say, how would I remember April 18th, 2006? Because I had a big calendar for the whole year, and I wrote it down. And it was 2 days after Easter. So that's kind of memorable in itself, right? 2 days after. So it was April 18th I was hired in 2006. Now, I gave Dale Housner a ride April 27th. It was on a Friday. And that's what I'm saying. I got this stuff written down so I can go back to it. Plus, I have a fantastic memory by God's grace. I go back when I was 22 months of experience in my life. But that'll be another story. Okay, Beetle, got a convention to get to. Okay, Beetle, just join the club so I can join yours if you got one, all right? Subscribe or not, I don't care. I am concerned. So, Mosquitoes are coming in. Oh, these guys are treacherous. Okay, so let's get on with the show. He it was on a Friday, just before sundown. On it was about 9 days before I didn't even work 2 weeks, and I was getting a call for a serial killer that I didn't even know was one. Although from 2005 to 2006, his face was postered all over the place with some other guy. He was a Mexican guy, and that would be Dietman, Samuel Dietman, but old not old Dale. Dale had really long hair, about as long as mine. Okay, shoulder length, and what Dale was pictured as all the people he was shooting, and well, the people that lived, they gave it a fantastic picture of the guy. Now, I looked at these pictures, but I said, when I looked at this guy, I said, hey, he looks familiar. But in my mind, I'm saying, hey, the guy they're talking about has long hair. It didn't occur to me that somebody could have a wig on, or maybe they just shaved their head, which was probably what happened. It did. That one or the other happened. So this is how it works. I get a call on the radio, and they say, go pick up somebody off of 7th Street and Camelback. And as we look back, a lot of the shootings happened in the beginning off of 7th Street and Camelback. What a coincidence. Maybe it was. I don't know. So they said, see, when you work for the cab company, they give a description of what the person's attire is. And the attire that I was going to go pick up, white t-shirt with black and white checkered pants. And I thought, well, that should be easy enough to find. So I pull up to so the Chevron station still exists on 7th Street in Camelback in Phoenix. You could actually Google it and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I pull up and I wait, and I see a guy with a white t-shirt with black and white checkered pants. He has his head over a blue car. The hood is up, and there's about 5 or 6 Mexicans around the car. And I said, "Hey, this must be my guy." So I drive up right in front of the blue car with the hood up, and I said, "What I do is I look at the guy, and he looks at me, and I go, do you want to ride?" You know, hand signals. You know how you can hand signal people. Do you want to ride? And he looks at me and he goes, back looking at the engine. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm new. I didn't know. I was 9 days into the game of cab driving. I said, well, must be another guy with a white shirt with black and white checkered pants. I've never seen anybody with black and white checkered pants before, to this day, even before. But I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. He looks back down at the engine. So I pull off to the side and I call the dispatch and I say, yeah, I don't think this individual wants a ride, so I'm open for the next ride. So I'm sitting there about 10, 11 minutes. Now, all of a sudden, about 10, 11 minutes later, the same guy that I looked at earlier, white shirt, black and white checkered pants, with a bag of chips in his hand, runs toward me and I rolled up my window, my back window I rolled up, and the passenger side I had down just a little bit, about just that much. And and he's screaming, "Oh, you finally showed up. I need a ride. I gotta get somewhere." I said, "Hey, you know what? You seem pretty Hey, Sparky, what went wrong when I pulled up earlier? I pulled up earlier, well, first, before all that, my heart was saying, do not let this person in your car. Do not let this person in your car. Do not let this. It was like screaming at my heart was screaming, do not let this person in your car. But I had to ask him a question. I said, when I was over there looking at you, asking you what's going on, and you looked away, why didn't you get in my car? And he says this very calmly. I have a car just like that. I thought that I was able to help them. I thought I could help them. You thought you could help them? Huh. Yeah. I'm always wanting to help people. So I thought, well, maybe. But my heart was saying no. My mind was saying, what kind of money are we going for? So the money won. I should have listened to my heart, definitely. And as everyone should. When your heart speaks to you, listen to your heart, not your mind, okay? So I said to him, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Mahoney's, just down the road. I said, okay, I know where that is. It's off Central. He said, yeah, that's right. I said, okay, get in the car. So I unlocked the car. He gets in. But he doesn't sit on in the back seat. I wasn't going to allow this guy into my front seat. Very rare cab drivers let anybody in the front seat. I mean, now I knew that much. So in the back seat, he didn't sit on the passenger side. He sat right behind my head, which is a no-no, by the way. Anybody taking a cab or a driver that you're taking a ride from a driver, sit on the other side. It makes everything go so much smoother. Less hostilities. So as I take off down Camelback, I stop at the light on 7th Street. And while I'm waiting at the 7th Street stoplight to go green, he says, how you going to get there? I said, well, I'm going to take Central, make a left, and we'll go down that way. And then after I get across I get through the green light now, he's saying, I'm from Texas. He's screaming this in the back of my head. I'm from Texas, and I hate everybody in Arizona. And I said, yeah, that's interesting. I said, yeah, but hatred is a lot of karma. He says, oh, yeah. So he quieted up a little bit. It was like, I'm dealing with, well, first of all, kids, anybody who's watching me, when you drive up this, whenever you deal with anybody, and the lights are on and nobody's home, you got to be really careful, all right? And some people know what I'm talking about. Okay, Isaiah, do you dig for gold? You look like my grandpa. Actually, I have digged for gold in Superior and other places, but that'd be another story. Yes, gold is very abundant in Arizona. Other places too. Yes, I have gone for gold. Thank you for that question. Okay, Squishby. Hey, remember me? Squishy. Squishy, I haven't seen you for a while. Hey, did you join my club? If you got one, I'll join yours. That goes for anybody that's watching. You join my club, subscribe to me, I will subscribe to you. I promise. It's one of the promises Uncle Martin makes. So now we're driving, we're driving down the road here. He's telling me how much people he hates in Arizona. This serial killer that I've given a ride to, that I can't get out of my backyard. Hey, Squishy, my name used to be Zori. Okay, Zori, welcome. So the guy's screaming that's a serial killer in the back of my head. I hate people in Arizona. I'm from Texas. And then I think he said they should be taken out. They should be taken out like trash. I'm thinking, boy, this guy's got a lot of hostility. So I said, yeah, man, but you know what? Those kind of feelings, they come back to you tenfold. It's karma, man. And it clicked in again. He said, it was like I was dealing with a couple different people. Actually, now that I think about it, it could have been somebody that, okay, a possession, you know. People can be possessed. I think I was dealing with that. And yeah, I probably was. Since the guy was a serial killer, I was dealing on that level. So what did I do? I always kept a small, calm voice, always throwing back with that hostility, a calmness that was coherent to the conscious mind and even to the subconscious mind that might have been taken over, that he might get understanding from what I'm saying. And I said, yeah, there's a lot of karma involved. And he said, yeah, I already know that. I said, oh, well, you're ahead of the game. So we get up to, I don't know, it was like a couple of blocks. And there's this, well, just before Central, if you look at Camelback Road, just before Central, on the left is Mariposa. Mariposa means butterfly. You know what butterflies represent? Angels. Yeah. So he said, no, don't take Central. Go down Mariposa. And I said, well, before I could say anything, because I already told him the route I was going to take, my heart definitely said, do not take Mariposa. And I listened to my heart, because that was Archangel Michael at that point. I had wings around me. I felt a blue light. I felt heat. That's what angels I'll go into angels I have in the past, but this is, you know, when you have an angel around you, when you have a lot of heat and awareness and listening, that you listen to that little voice, okay? So I didn't make the left. And when I get up to Central and I'm making the left, the guy's screaming in the back of my head saying, why didn't I take Mariposa? Well, later on, I found Mariposa dead end. It dead ended. It did not go all the way down to where he was going. So there was something nefarious going on here. So when I made my left on Central, which was all torn up, by the way, in 2006, it was a light rail being brought in, and it was all bumpy, but you could still drive on it. And that was his concern. Oh, it was too bumpy of a ride. Yeah, but Mariposa doesn't go all the way through. I didn't know that. I was too young as a cab driver. I looked it up later. So I'm going down Central, and at that point, he's screaming in the back of my head how he didn't feel very positive about that. And he said, yeah, well, how killing was very easy, and people are like trash. They had to be taken out, especially people at bus stops. And if we look into Dale Housner, as I asked you to look up Dale Housner, he shot a lot of people and killed them at bus stops. They're like trash. They have to be taken out. I don't know what it is about bus stops this guy had a problem with. People got to wait for a bus, don't they, if they don't have a ride? Well, he was taking them out at bus stops and random killings everywhere else. So as I make my left, he's saying how, now this is where it gets really interesting, because he said to me, killing is easy. It's as easy as killing a cab driver. And I thought, oh my God, well, I'm only nine days into this game, and it clicks in that I'm a cab driver. Killing is easy, and it's even easier to kill a cab driver. Well, the hairs on the back of my neck started standing up. Actually, before then, but and then I had to become more aggressive. You know, where I said earlier, speak in a small, quiet voice for these people that have the lights on with no one home. And then at a certain point, you have to have a little more gumption to where your words are. So I said simply this: hey, partner, this ain't Texas. We don't need no stinking badge. I said, we don't need anything we can carry without a badge, basically. And actually, as of that was 2006, wasn't it? So 2021, Texas changed their law. You have a right to carry without any badges. Yeah, that's fantastic, you guys. And by the way, everybody is saying, "Oh, you shouldn't carry a gun." Well, you know what? It's not the gun; it's the person with the finger behind the gun. All right, and you're stopping me from protecting myself and my family and my property. You got some things to learn. That's all. Second Amendment. And people are trying to get rid of that. But look at all the countries that got rid of the Second Amendment for themselves. They are really crying. They're crying out right now. Why did they do that? Right? Okay. Just leave it alone. It's a touchy topic. I don't want to go there. So as I'm going down the road, he's saying, it's as easy as killing a cab driver. Well, you know what? Prior to that, I heard I had to go through some safety classes because I went through some red lights. And there was cab drivers being shot on the west side. They were getting shot behind the head. They didn't know who did it. I'm thinking, maybe this is something the police department should look into. Was this guy involved? I mean, this guy was notorious for claiming it was easy to kill a cab driver. Didn't make me feel too positive. So as I'm driving, I said, "This ain't Texas, partner. We have a right to carry." He says, "Oh, are you carrying?" I said, "Yeah, I got a 357. It's under..." Well, I didn't say where it was. I said, "I got a 357. And the sad part of that story is I do have a 357. I love it because you can throw a 38 or a 357 in it and shoot it either caliber. But the day before, everybody was being pulled in the yard to be checked out to see how your cab was running and how it looked, how clean it was. So I took my 357 out. I put it in my room. Well, here it is the next day. I got a serial killer behind me. I got him behind me screaming at me how easy it is to kill a cab driver. And I'm thinking, I said, "Yeah, but yeah, I do have a 357. And he says, "Oh, really?" And then I had to go more, which was a true story. I said, a week or two, I said about 2 weeks before, which is true. I walked out in the desert and I walked off 80 yards. I had an old, it was my 65 Ford burnt out bulb on my right side. And I walked out 85 yards and I shot my 9-inch 357 and it went 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth one took out the bulb. I still had another shot. That's fantastic. So the guy says, Dale Housner, the serial killer, says, "That's fantastic shooting." I said, "Yeah, I was going to go 100 yards, but I figured 80 yards would be good enough." And I said, "Yeah, when I got other guns too." I didn't even have my 357 on me. But we're playing poker now at night when all the people are getting killed at sundown while he's munching chips. I had nothing except half-truths, I guess. So he says, and then he says, "Oh, really? You got more guns?" I said, "Yeah, I got more guns. I got shotguns. I made up all these guns I had. I only have my 357. And he says, "Oh, really?" And now we're best friends. He said, "I got a shotgun. I got all these other guns." I'm saying, "Oh, that's fantastic. How do you do with shooting them?" He says, "Oh, not too bad." I said, "Okay." So now we're getting close to Mahoney's. So I make a left to get to Mahoney's. And he says, "How much is it?" I said, "It's $30. And he gives me 2 20s. He says, "Yeah, give me 5 back." I said, "Oh, 5 back." I'm thinking, after all this aggression, the serial killer, I didn't know at the time, is giving me a $5 tip. So I said, "Oh, thank you very much." And I always do that with my people. I want to shake their hand. And I said, "Hey, my name's Uncle Martin. What's your..." He says, "My name is Dale." And he said, "Dave." I said, Dave? What is it?" I'm thinking in my mind. I said, "Hey," but I didn't question him. I just said, "Oh, Dave. Oh, it's a positive name. That's my brother's name." So we shook hands. How did he do? And he left. I didn't know anything else about the guy because I was working 24/7. I was sleeping in the cab, which you're never supposed to do. I had to make rent. I had to make a lease. I was doing the best I could. And then I found out This is the guy. And how did I know? Because it was in 2009. 2009 they arrested him. And he's sitting up on the stand. His legs are crossed. And he doesn't have a lawyer. And he's trying to plead his case. And then he said, people are like trash. They have to be taken out. And I'm looking at this guy and I'm saying, that's the guy, man. That is the guy I had in my back of my seat. And I went forward and I was going to tell some people. I went to AAA Yellow Cab and I told them about it. And actually, I told them about that day. And I said, don't worry about it. He's just a crazy guy. But when I went back 3 years later and I said, hey, that's the guy that I had in my back seat. They said, don't even worry about it. There's a line of people that want to take this. There's descriptions of this guy. He's already done. Actually, that's what it was. He was going for the 2009. Well, actually, he was arrested in June 19th. Oh, hold on. My number is dyslexia. Let me get this right for you. February 14th, 1973, he was born. June 19th, 2013, they say he committed suicide. But he was incarcerated in 2009. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So he got 4 years into his prison sentence on death row. But somehow he committed suicide. Funny how that works. A lot of people incarcerated in jail have been doing suicide. Could be just a coincidence. So what I'm saying is we can rain's about ready to come down on us here. That's why I started this early. We get subjected to many things, and I can't get across to people that are watching me. Always listen to your heart. What your heart says is always true. It will never let you down. Your mind will always, it's 50-50 kind of. It's never going to be really 100% like your heart. My heart told me never to pick that guy up. My heart also told me not to make a left-hand turn. I think that was the angels at that point. They said, just don't do it. So there was many deaths on the west side of Phoenix by someone getting shot that they don't know who did it. This guy was shooting animals first and then shooting people randomly. In fact, I might as well tell you the other story I got for you. Right? This is too much. It's serendipitous. I picked up another guy, and it was off. Oh, prior to this, there was people getting killed on 44th Street in Indian School, right next to Fish and Chips. They were at a bus stop. Yeah, how coincidental. And then people off of 60th Street in Thomas, they were getting shot. Hey, what a coincidence. And then just down the road from, I'm going to guess, 62nd Street in Thomas, in Phoenix. Now, beyond the borderline of Phoenix and Scottsdale. This guy, I pick him up, and he says, "Yeah, I gotta use you. I normally don't use a cab, but they took my car away." I said, "Why did they take your car away?" He says, "Because there was a bunch of bullet holes in there." I said, "Really? What?" They think it was Dale Housner, so they took his car because he called in and said, "I got all these bullet holes in my car," which Dale Housner did. Random shootings. This guy was a shooting fool, man. He was all over the place. He shot at people. He shot at cars. He shot at animals. This guy was a serial killer. I had him in my back seat. And by God's grace, we got rid of the guy. And that's my point also. When I kept telling him all the negative things that he was saying, that it's karma, be careful, it comes back tenfold, he was in total agreement. He says, I know about karma, I believe it, and I understand it. I said, oh, well, that's fantastic. So, as I have to look here, because I wrote this all down once he said all that stuff. He was arrested, finally. He was finally arrested August 3rd, 2006. Now, 3 months after I gave him a ride. Isn't that interesting? So it took 3 months for them to actually get to him. And Uncle Martin was not a statistic. And that's why I say, never be a statistic. Look around you. Be more aware, more alert. Listen to your heart. Do not just jump into things saying, sounds like a good idea to me. And somebody wants to walk you down the road. And who are these people? You don't know them. Or even if you do. If your heart's saying no, listen to your heart. That's pretty much what I'm talking about. Okay, all you guys out there, I got a lot of lightning, thunder, and ugly storm coming. That's why I started this early. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. This is a total true story on Dale Housner, serial killer. That will be the thumbnail. Dale Housner, serial killer. Can't get any better than that. You look him up, look at his face, and maybe you can see where I'm coming from. He's munching on chips, saying how he really enjoyed, well, first he had a lot of hatred for people in Arizona, how easy it was to take them out. It was even easier for a cab driver. I was very fortunate. And again, I say, Archangel Michael and the angels above, Almighty, was there to help me. Always call upon your angels for protection. Everyone has a guardian angel. And you want to give credit to your guardian angel. Even if you are, I don't want to hate to say it, a witch, warlock, black magician, you've got a guardian angel. And start working with your guardian angel. Or not. These are the end times. We choose hot, we choose cold. There's a very, very, very small sliver of time to where we can go positively or negatively. Either way, hot or cold is a lesson planet we will get to learn. So I'm not saying which one to pick, hot or cold. Just saying we'll get to learn. Okay. Everyone be well. God victory. This is Saturday. Man, I'm dyslexic again. I don't know, 26th, 27th of September. I wish I would write this stuff down. Sunday, I will be here for you, and I'll have another true story. Each of my stories are true, by the way. So again, give me a thumbs up or down. Join my club. Subscribe to me. I'll subscribe to you. That's the law of Uncle Martin. Until then, be well. And God victory.